¿Qué pasó, güey? It's your homeboy Quetzalcoatl hitting your ass up with another video. On today's episode, I'm going to be giving you my prediction for the upcoming fight this Saturday between Canelo Alvarez and Amir Khan. I'm going to break down each fighter for you by talking about some of their recent fights, give you each fighter's strengths and weaknesses, and then I'll be giving you my prediction as to who I see taking this fight. We'll start off with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez holds a record of 46 victories with 1 loss and 1 draw, and 32 of those victories coming by way of knockout. He is listed as standing at 5 feet 9 inches and has a 70.5-inch reach. Canelo Alvarez is coming off the most significant victory of his career as he won a decision over Miguel Cotto, which elevated his status in boxing as a legitimate pay-per-view star. Some of the notable victories on his record are against the aforementioned Miguel Cotto, Erislandy Lara, Austin Trout, and James Kirkland. Now, as far as Canelo Alvarez's strengths, one of them is his power, as you saw versus James Kirkland, where he caught Kirkland with a huge shot that had his ass spinning, dropped him to the ground, and he died for a couple seconds. He also has fast hands. Now, his speed, he's not as fast as Amir Khan, but he still has fast hands nonetheless, especially for his size. You really wouldn't expect him to have that type of speed. He's also good at mixing up his punches, his combinations to both the head and the body, and he has very good upper body movement. Now, as far as Canelo Alvarez's weaknesses, one of them is his slow feet. He's not efficient with his foot movement against boxers. Now, he has decent footwork in spots in terms of getting into position to attack from certain angles and to get away after throwing those combinations. But against fighters with good overall footwork, he has problems against those type of fighters. And you saw that in the Floyd Mayweather fight, where Mayweather pretty much completely embarrassed Canelo. Canelo had nothing for Mayweather in that fight. And a big part of that was because of Mayweather's good footwork. He's also had problems against fighters with good movement, such as Erislandy Lara, who, in my eyes, that was a razor-thin decision that he won. That fight could have gone either way. And he also had problems against Austin Trout. The other weakness that Canelo Alvarez possesses is his slow work rate. He likes to fight in spots, and that can cause problems if the fight goes to a decision. As you saw with Floyd Mayweather, it would have been better for him to increase his work rate to try to compete against a boxer like that. But instead, he chose to fight in spots like he usually does, and he was completely outclassed. Same thing with Erislandy Lara and Austin Trout. Had he picked up his work rate, the margin of victory would have been much wider. Now let's talk about Amir Khan. Amir Khan holds a record of 31 victories with 3 losses, and 19 of those wins coming by way of knockout. 2 of those losses were also by knockout. He is listed as standing at 5 feet 8.5 inches and has a 71-inch reach. He's coming off a unanimous decision victory over Chris Algieri, and his notable victories include Devin Alexander, Zab Judah, Paulie Malignaggi, and Marcos Maidana. The strengths of Amir Khan are, for one, his speed. Amir Khan probably has some of the fastest hands in boxing today. He also throws lots of combinations, and he has decent power behind those punches. Amir Khan has good foot movement. He's got fast feet as he uses the entire ring during a fight. Now, as far as Amir Khan's weaknesses, I think that his weaknesses will play a key role in his fight versus Canelo Alvarez. For one, it's obvious, we all know. Amir Khan has no chin. Glass jaw. And we've seen this in fights versus Bredis Prescott, as he got knocked the fuck out in 1 round. Got annihilated. He got raped in that fight. We also saw that against Danny Garcia, where he got that ass whooped. And even though he won against Julio Diaz was able to drop his ass in that fight, and we saw how weak his chin was again. Even with Marcos Maidana. Now, he beat Marcos Maidana, but he faded towards the end and barely survived as Marcos Maidana was landing bombs on his ass. He also overcommits to his combinations at times. And it ended up costing him in the Danny Garcia fight, where you saw he was overcommitting to those combinations, got caught with a big ass hook, and it ended up being game over for his ass. His other weakness is he's too brave for his own good. I give Amir Khan props because he's got a lot of heart. He's got a lot of heart. When he gets hurt, you know, he still wants to come forward. He still wants to exchange. And even when he's not hurt, he's willing to go toe to toe. He's willing to exchange punches when he has no chin. And I'm pretty sure he knows that. He knows he can't take a good punch. But he's still willing to go in there and trade with him. And like I said, he's just too brave for his own good. As far as my prediction for this fight, I think Canelo Alvarez is going to beat the shit out of Amir Khan. I think Amir Khan is going to get his ass whooped. In a previous video, I gave you my thoughts on this fight, on how I feel this fight shouldn't be taking place because of the size difference and weight difference between both fighters. I'll leave a link in the description to that video where you can get all my thoughts on the fight. But I just don't see Amir Khan pulling it off. Is it possible that he can win the fight? I mean, anything can happen in boxing. But it's not likely that he's going to win this fight. He would have to fight a perfect fight. And I just don't see that happening. I see him getting caught with something big. He'll probably give Canelo problems with his footwork. As I said, that Canelo has problems with fighters with good footwork. But once Amir Khan gets caught with something big, it's going to be over. If he goes all 12 rounds, I think that that's a moral victory for him. I'll give him his props for hanging 12 rounds. Win or lose. And like I said, anything can happen in boxing. And some people are saying, well, Canelo Alvarez has been hurt in the past before. As you saw when he fought Miguel Cotto's retarded brother. And Miguel Cotto's brother was able to hurt him in that first round. And people are saying, I mean, if a retarded person can hurt him, maybe Amir Khan can. And it's possible, but like I said, I don't think it's likely. I think Amir Khan is going to get fucked up bad in this fight, man. I hope that he can keep fighting after this, man. I hope that this doesn't affect him to where he just gets his ass whooped by nobodies after this. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Amir Khan can pull it off? Do you think that Canelo Alvarez is going to whoop that ass? Let me know in the comment section. And as always, if you like this shit, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, most likely you're a fanboy and your pussy bleeding right now because of my opinion. This is your homeboy Quetzalcoatl, signing the fuck on out.